Most men are trying to be admired. And that is exactly why they never are. Here is what nobody tells you. Admiration is not something you ask for. It is not something you perform for. It is not something you earn by being extra nice, extra helpful, or extra available. Admiration happens when a woman sees something in you that most men simply do not carry. Not something expensive. Not something loud. A habit. One quiet, consistent habit that the top 1% of men have built into the way they live. And once a woman sees it, not hears about it, but actually sees it, something shifts in how she looks at you. Not because you impressed her. Because you surprised her. And in a world full of men trying too hard, that surprise is everything. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly what that habit looks like. Not in theory. In real behavior. Real moments. Real situations. 5 specific ways this habit shows up, and how each one quietly builds the kind of admiration that does not fade. Because there is a difference between a woman who thinks you are cool and a woman who genuinely admires you. One is surface. The other is deep. And by the end of this video, you will know exactly which side of that line you are standing on. Let us get into it. Point 1. You have a direction, and you protect it. Most men think admiration starts with being interesting. So they try to have the right hobbies, the right opinions, the right things to say. But admiration does not start with what you say. It starts with what you are moving toward. A man with a clear direction in life carries a completely different energy. He is not drifting. He is not filling his days with noise. He is building something, and that building has weight. Women can feel that. Not because he talks about his goals constantly. In fact, the man who announces his ambitions every 5 minutes usually has very little to show. The man who is admired is quieter about it. He does not need to explain where he is going. His focus speaks before his words do. And here is what most men miss. It is not just about having a goal. It is about protecting that goal. When a woman sees that your time, your energy, and your attention are not handed out to everyone, that they mean something, she starts to understand that you mean something. A man without direction is easy to take for granted. A man with direction is hard to ignore. That is the difference. Point 2. You are consistent when no one is watching. There is a certain kind of man who shows up well in public. He is polished, confident, charming. But the moment no one is looking, he collapses into laziness, bad habits, and zero discipline. Women figure this out. Not always immediately, but they figure it out. And the moment they do, the admiration is gone. Because they realize the version they saw was a performance. The top 1% are different. They are the same person at 6 a.m. that they are at 6 p.m. They train whether someone is watching or not. They follow through on small things nobody asked them to follow through on. They keep their word to themselves, and that is the hardest kind of consistency there is. When a woman sees this, not through stories you tell, but through behavior she witnesses, something very specific happens. She starts to trust you without meaning to. And trust is the foundation every kind of admiration is built on. A man who is only impressive when it matters to his image is exhausting to be around. A man who is quietly consistent is rare. And rare things are always admired. Point 3. You do not seek her validation. This one cuts deep. Because most men, whether they realize it or not, are constantly checking. Did she respond fast enough? Did she seem impressed? Did she laugh at the right moment? Does she still like me? That checking, that invisible searching for her approval, is the single fastest way to lose her admiration. Because a woman cannot admire a man whose self-worth lives inside her reaction. Think about it. When you are around someone who constantly needs your approval, you do not respect them more. You feel a kind of pressure, a kind of weight. And eventually, you start pulling back. Women feel the same thing. The man who is admired is not indifferent. He is not cold or emotionally unavailable. He genuinely likes her. But his sense of self does not rise or fall based on her mood that day. He is warm, but not desperate. He is interested, but not hungry. He pays attention, but does not need her attention in return to feel solid. That groundedness is magnetic. Because it is so rare. Most men hand over their confidence the moment a woman walks into the room. The top 1% keep it. And a woman always notices who kept it. Point 4. You handle hard moments without falling apart. Life will test you. Plans fall through. Situations get uncomfortable. Things do not go the way they were supposed to. And in those moments, who you actually are shows up, whether you want it to or not. A man who handles pressure with calm and clarity is one of the rarest things a woman will ever encounter. Not because he does not feel it, but because he does not perform it. He does not dramatic spiral when plans change. He does not let stress become an excuse for poor behavior. He does not look for someone to absorb his frustration. He processes. He adjusts. He keeps moving. Women watch this very carefully. Because every woman, at some level, is asking a quiet question. If things got hard, if life got hard, would this man hold steady? A man who falls apart over small inconveniences is already answering that question. And the answer is not good. But a man who stays level, not fake, not performing toughness, but genuinely grounded, is answering it differently. She may not say anything. But inside, something shifts. The admiration grows quietly, without announcement. Because she just saw something she does not see often. A man who can handle real life. Point 5. You invest in yourself like it is your job. The top 1% have one thing in common that most men overlook entirely. They are always growing. Not always succeeding. Not always winning. But always growing. They read. They train. They learn new skills. They reflect on their mistakes. They take their own development seriously, not for show, not for social media, but because they genuinely believe they owe it to themselves to become better. And this habit, more than almost anything else, creates a lasting admiration that does not disappear. Here is why. A man who is growing is never boring. There is always something new in his thinking, something sharper in his perspective, something stronger in how he carries himself. He does not peak. He builds. And women are deeply drawn to a man who is building. Not because of what he has right now, but because of the energy of someone going somewhere real. Most men stop investing in themselves the moment life gets comfortable. The top 1% never stop. And that commitment, that quiet, relentless investment in who they are becoming, is one of the most admirable things a woman can witness in a man. Not once. Consistently. Over time. That is what separates admiration from a moment of passing interest. Moments fade. Character stays. So here is what it all comes down to. The top 1% habit is not one dramatic thing. It is a way of living. It is having a direction and protecting it. It is being consistent when no one is watching. It is keeping your confidence inside yourself, not in her hands. It is staying grounded when real pressure arrives. And it is investing in who you are becoming, every single day. None of these are complicated. But almost no man actually does all 5. That is why the top 1% stand out without trying to stand out. That is why they are admired without chasing admiration. And that is why when a woman meets a man who carries all of this, she feels it immediately. Not because he impressed her. Because he was real. He was solid. He was rare. If this hit different, drop a comment below with the one point that spoke to you most. And if you want more content like this, practical, honest, no fluff, subscribe. Because the next video is going directly into why the wrong kind of confidence is actually pushing women away, and what the right kind actually looks like. You do not want to miss that one.